All right, welcome to another episode of Pilots Say What, where we get to hear what pilots have to say. Today we'll be talking with Andrew. We talk about all things general aviation, especially if you're a student pilot, CFI, and occasionally we'll have an airline pilot. But today is a special episode because we're out at our new Phoenix location. It's only slightly new. We've been out here for a year now maybe?
August last year, so
almost a year. But we're out in Mesa, Arizona on Falcon Field. You're gonna see a difference in the video if you're watching. You're gonna hear a little bit of a difference in the audio if you're listening, which I hope you are. But without any further ado, would you mind giving yourself a brief introduction?
Well, thank you for having me here today. I appreciate the interview.
Absolutely.
My name's Andrew Sowers. I'm originally from Scottsdale, Arizona.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's
Scottsdale
beautiful.
native.
Yeah, it's beautiful to fly here. I mean, the weather is great. We got sunny skies.
Yeah.
Not a lot of clouds in the winter months, so you get a lot of days of training.
Okay, awesome. It's hot though.
It's hot.
Yeah.
But we have AC in our new Piper Air Archers. So.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine being out there on the taxiway, waiting to take off without any AC. How does it really help in that moment at all? Like, it takes a second to cool down.
Yeah, you can use the AC while you're taxiing. It's just on takeoff and landing, you got to turn it off.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it helps you guys a little bit. It gets hot out there in Texas too, but it seems like it stays a little hotter out here for a little longer.
Yeah, it's a dry heat, as they say.
Exactly. Out there it's a little more humid, but
Yeah.
it's not too bad. It's hotter out here. I lived in Arizona in the 4th grade for a little while.
Oh,
Fourth grade, I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I remember it was hot out here. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited to talk to you a little bit about what it's like to be flight training in Arizona, also to kind of learn a little bit about the location. But I'd also like to get to know a little bit about you. What was something you were doing before flight training?
So for the past 14 years, I've been building two businesses. I've been a hairdresser and a real estate professional.
Awesome. Okay.
So it's been cool. I've been negotiating high stakes, high energy contracts, remaining calm, cool, collected.
Yeah.
Being a hairdresser, I've built loyal clientele over the years. People really trust you.
Right.
They talk to you and they really look for guidance. So that's been cool. I've been changing people's lives. But aviation's always been a passion of mine since I was a kid.
Okay.
And I knew someday I would chase it. I just didn't know when. And so I just kind of focused on taking it day by day.
Right.
One step in front of the other. How can I be a better person today? How can I show up? How can I help people?
Awesome. I think that's such a cool cocktail of things to be doing. Especially because they're all so people related.
Yeah.
And I think that people are surprised about aviation being such a people business. And strangely enough, we think about it like a skill and a craft, which I do think it is. But it's so much people things going on.
Yeah, the interaction's great.
Right. Do you feel like being a hairdresser really actually helped you build like a bit of a network, or which one?
I've built from scratch. So it was just going up to random people talking, hey, I like your hair. Where do you go? How can I help you? I cut hair. And then when I transitioned into real estate, it was kind of cool because that was another passion of mine. And at the time I wanted to get into aviation because that's what I thought about as a kid. And I'm like, maybe today is not the day, or life unfolds in ways that you're not expecting. So just kind of navigating that has been great.
Okay, and so now that you've started, how long have you been with Thrust?
I've been with Thrust since October 20th. I start in the 0 to Airline program, started fresh. I'm moving very quickly.
Yeah.
It's a
What
grind.
rating are you in?
I just finished commercial.
Okay.
And I'm getting ready to check out the Denison campus.
Oh yeah?
Fly the Seminoles, do my multi-engine training.
Oh wow, because we don't have Seminoles out here yet,
Not
right?
yet. I heard we ordered some.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, we always have some sort of plane on aircraft. Some sort of aircraft on order. So that's good to know. But you're gonna go out to Denison, you're gonna see what it's like. That's a cool airport because it's chill.
Yeah.
It's a little similar to this one in comparison to Addison.
Yeah, Class Delta. You're not talking in a busy Bravo. You're getting a lot of quality flight training time.
Exactly, that's cool. Yeah, the Seminole's nice.
Yeah.
I had to fly out to Conroe from Addison a couple times, so it was. I didn't fly. I was just a passenger.
Yeah. Have you ever had the itch to fly?
Well, now that I'm doing this a little bit, I talk about it sometimes how, I've gone up with one of our instructors in the past, and he let me, take control of the plane for a second. I was like, wow, okay, I get it. Like riding in it, just being a passenger is not the same as like really feeling the controls.
Yeah, those discovery flights that Thrust offers are awesome.
Amazing. Yeah, we just actually did a bunch for a bunch of high school students. Before we flew out here, we were in Addison, and UNT, one of the colleges out there, sponsored a bunch of high school students to come out, and we took up maybe like over 25 students
Awesome.
in high school
Awesome.
to do discovery flights. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's been a dream of mine too, because life kind of unfolded in certain ways that I didn't expect. I wanted to chase it at a young age, but I didn't have the means, I didn't have the support. And so I want to give back to the next aviation community and like the next generation of pilots.
Yeah, it seems like that's kind of built in to aviation more than a lot of industries. Like the idea is that we got to give back. But maybe that has to do with the fact that maybe there's like age limits on certain parts of the career and things like that, to where it's almost like, how do I stay engaged in this thing that I do? And it's like, I got to give back. I think that's a good thing. But I want to zoom out and ask you, when were you first interested in aviation? Because you said it was always like a dream. I mean, were you a child and you saw the plane, you're like, that's what I want to do?
Yeah, my earliest memory is probably around 9, being obsessed with airplanes. You know, I drew it in a coloring book. My mom's like, oh, you want to do that? And here, study this. And so I've always had support, but never the opportunity.
Okay.
So by 13, you know, back in the early 2000s, you could get your pilot's license at 13 years old.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
It's since changed. I mean, for the right reasons. But so I'm like, I want to do this. But I played sports. I kind of just focused on my studies.
Cool.
And, you know, that door just didn't open at the time. So my mantra is always be intentional, be the best version of yourself you can be. Every day is working towards your future. So whether you're not chasing the dream right away in ways that you think, you might be adding attributes that will help in your future.
That's nice to hear from like a parent or from anyone really, when you're young and you want to, like, you know, figure things out, or I guess at any age.
Right. And not being discouraged when those doors are closed, you know, just keep trucking along and, you know, one foot in front of the other, and day by day, how can I show up a better version?
That's awesome. So I'm wondering at what point, I kind of want to zoom in to the more specific moment where you're kind of thinking like, okay, I'm ready for another step in the direction that I want to go. Like I'm tired of what I'm doing, or like I just really, it's time. Something's time.
It's not that I've ever been tired of what I'm doing. I've always enjoyed every job I've had. I've had plenty of jobs.
Awesome. More than most people would say, I think.
Oh yeah. Constantly on the grind. Just trying to make people feel good and kind of,
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense to me though. But so what was it like right before you took this step to get into aviation?
Yeah, so I left hairdressing at 14 years. I closed my doors. Oh, wow. My clients were really upset, but a lot of them supported me. And, you know, this was a childhood dream that I got to unlock. And, you know, doing real estate at the same time gave me the autonomy to run my own schedule. And, you know, when some of these deals closed, I'm like, you know, this passion of aviation's still in there and I want to do it.
Right.
And so after talking to a couple mentors, I just took the plunge and told all my clients, hey, I'm going to chase the dream. Yeah. If you need any help in real estate, I'd love to help. I connected them with good hairdressers and I filled out the loan application. I rebuilt my credit and I was able to do it all on my own.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so very fulfilling.
It makes me wonder, because I'm the type to, and I think people in aviation, it's a relevant conversation to think about how much you can do at once, capacity, things like that, especially when you're in a fast-paced program.
Right.
So my question is, how did you know that you kind of needed to let go of the hairdressing part of it, especially were you doing it was kind of like freelance work, right?
Yeah, I built up my own clientele,
exactly.
My own studio in Scottsdale. I just knew at the end of the day, I need to be in an accelerated program. I'm 37, I'm about to be 38. They call me a career changer, but I like to say is a career leveling up. Like I'm just stacking the cards and I'm helping each person, helping myself, giving back. So when I pulled the plug on the hair, it was pivotal for me. I was like, I get to chase my dreams and I'm going to give it all that I got.
That's awesome.
So the fast-paced program really gave me that instill, like, get it done, you know, help others.
Yeah.
So the next goal would be to be a CFI.
Yes.
Help the next generation of pilots. You know, you learn a lot when you're teaching the information.
Right.
And I know a lot of airlines look at that as a positive, like, you're in the cockpit with someone who doesn't know how to fly, and they could do something that could jeopardize both of your lives.
Right, so, it shows a level of responsibility.
Exactly.
I could imagine. I still think it's kind of interesting that you made that choice. I guess to let go of all your clientele like that, because I did freelance work before doing a lot of what I'm doing now. And it took me, I mean, I tried for like 18 months at least, trying to just do it all full-fledged.
Yeah.
Like I didn't try to slow down on that end at all. And I thought I could just add on, and that was not realistic.
Yeah.
But you seem to have had a bit of foresight there,
yeah,
or maybe it's experience.
There's like a fine line of doing too much. Yeah, I heard a lot growing up is you're a jack of all trades. And so I kind of just wanted to make sure they each stacked on top of each other, that assisted and helped each career.
Yeah.
Am I being a better person? Am I growing? Am I giving back to the community?
Yeah.
And am I chasing that childhood dream? Am I making that 9-year-old boy happy?
Yeah, and that, and that's another part. I liked it when you said that, it's kind of stacking on top of each other rather than a change. Like it's not so lateral as it is building.
Yeah.
And I think that it's easy to think when you're when you're doing something that's really new, that it doesn't have anything to do with anything you've already done.
Right.
And that just typically isn't true. Humans kind of compound what they learn.
For sure, and they fail. And failure is not an end-all, be-all.
Right.
It is like, what can I learn from this? How can I be better?
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. And so let me ask you then, is there anything, because they're so different, what have you been able to sort of take from real estate or, hair that has kind of benefited you in the situation you're in now in flight training?
Yeah, well, building up a clientele, you're meeting clients. You're trying to instill trust in them, in yourself, and having them hire you on a day-to-day basis or handle the biggest purchase of their life. It's daunting for them. They want to feel comfortable, and it's high stress environment. And I think in aviation, it's the same. Are you able to run through checklists, emergency checklists?
Right.
You have 150 souls on board. You're not just looking out for yourself.
Right.
So hairdressing, you're looking out for them. Real estate, you're looking out for the agent on the other side, the buyers, the sellers, the loan originators. Lots of high stress. Like that's a huge purchase.
Yeah.
So remaining calm, cool, collective, being an effective communicator has really helped in my career.
Right. I could see what you're saying. A lot of people. Did you ever work in the service industry before any of that? Did you ever do any restaurant stuff?
I was a bartender for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think it almost sounds like you have it to that degree, to where you've been able to work in a restaurant before as a bartender.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because I think people learn a lot from that. I think everyone should do that once in their life.
For sure. A service mindset is hard.
Yes.
But it's fulfilling.
I think so.
Yeah.
And it gets you through a lot of other areas of life, and even into maybe aviation, like you're saying. So let me ask you about this then. Once you started at Thrust Flight, had you taken a discovery flight or anything like that?
I'd taken a couple discovery flights from other schools. I know Thrust offered it, but I knew at that time, I don't need the discovery flight. Where do I sign?
Right.
How do I get involved?
Awesome.
I was at another school previous to this, just for a couple hours here and there, trying to work on my private.
Yeah.
And they were actually sending me Thrust instructional videos.
No, they weren't.
And they're like, learn this. And I'm like, why are you sending me another school's info? And they're like, well, we don't have anything like this. So I'm like, well, if this is their free content, I'm going to get their paid content.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. We've heard that once or twice, but that's wild. That's pretty cool to hear. Thank you for sharing that.
And since day one, I felt open arms, welcomed. This is like a family. For such a big program, we're on our 5th location.
Yeah.
How exciting you get to go and open up all the new ones.
Yeah, you were here, so we just finished, I just want to give a little context to the listeners. Number one, we're in Mesa, Arizona on the Falcon Field Airport, like I just said a moment ago. I'm out here today specifically because we're hosting our Thrust Day / like an open house, because we just rebuilt all the walls and the whole facility is rebuilt from scratch. This is probably the most custom built. I don't know if you've been in any of the other locations, but this is the most custom built location. Addison, we kind of just inhabited a space they already had.
Yeah.
We paint things or whatever, but this one is from the ground up, kind of.
I think it helps to instill that culture as a business first, and you grow a popularity and everyone trusts you, and you expand, but you expand in the right ways.
Yeah.
Like this, Patrick, our CEO, he crushed it.
He had a vision.
He saw opportunity and he crushed it.
Yeah.
So building 2 hangars, incredible.
Yeah, so and on that note, right now we're in the actual Thrust Institute of Maintenance hangar, because we haven't talked about it a whole lot on this podcast, but we're not just a flight school, we're also a maintenance school. And so this location has both right next to each other. I walk out some doors right here, and that's the flight hangar, and here we're in the maintenance hangar. That's why you're gonna see a plane behind Andrew. So I just want you guys to know that. I have to say though, this location is much nicer than the other ones. Not that the other ones aren't fully capable and don't have all the resources they do. I mean, like, people see Addison as a staple location, but I think down the road, this location here is made nicely.
Yeah,
and
I
so
think it'll be a flagship.
We have some, we have some renovating to do in Addison now, just from seeing this one. Not, sorry guys.
Not a bad thing.
I'm trying to humble the students over there. They think they got it the best.
There's room for growth, opportunity.
Exactly. Okay. Okay. So you started off here. You had gotten a few hours at another school. They've seen our videos. That's also what I wanted to say. If you're listening or watching right now, check out the rest of the YouTube channel. We have so much content.
Amazing content.
Yeah, so much content. Maybe we need to get a little more, a new set of educational stuff out there, but we have a lot on there. So if you're struggling with your landings, actually, what's the favorite one that people like is what is it called? The multi-engine. If you're in multi, we've got the whole entire course. We gave it away for free on YouTube.
Yeah, it's
so
great.
Subscribe and check it out.
The content's amazing.
Yeah,
and studying, it's a grind, man. You really have to dedicate your entire life to it.
Yeah.
And there's going to be days that are going to feel this is too much and I want to quit. But at the end of the day, you can do it. You can persevere and push through, and the light at the end of the tunnel is so bright. Yeah,
absolutely. And so let me ask you about that. That's what I wanted to find out. You started at Thrust Flight, and I know that learning to be a real estate agent, like the courses and the exams are tough.
Yeah.
They're very technical.
Yeah. The writtens of the FAA are no different. They try to trick you. They want to know you know your stuff.
Exactly. So can you tell me a little bit about the experience of the ground knowledge and courses that you have to go through when learning how to fly a plane?
Yeah, I mean, I looked into a lot of different schools and no one offers in-person ground training. And that was one of the deciding factors that set Thrust apart. You have one-on-one instruction as well as group study halls.
Right.
You have people to lean on and content out there to help make you better.
Yeah, and so can you explain to me then, like, the day? The reason I asked that is because I kind of want to understand how the ground courses and the flight training and the sims and the studying all kind of fit into your day as a student pilot.
Yeah, so every day is going to be realistically different. Each rating is going to have a set of obstacles. 2-hour ground instruction. We have 19 days per rating that you're in with a class studying all the knowledge.
Right.
You are expected to study at home. We like study groups. Forming study groups builds camaraderie and helps really kind of pull the big picture back and say, how can I look through this through a different lens?
Right.
What am I not understanding what someone else can get, and vice versa.
Yeah, okay.
So ground school, 19 days. It doesn't end there though. They're like, you're not done with your rating in 19 days. You still have a lot of books to read.
Right.
And growing up in my day, I was highlighting textbooks, and now everything's on an iPad, and it's a lot easier on your back not carrying a bunch of books, but there's so much stuff out there to learn. And then it's followed with a flight instruction. Yeah. We also have online courses that they supplement with our ground school. Right. So instructional videos, you're watching other instructors from Texas teaching their students on the lessons you're about to learn. So that was really comforting.
That's the LMS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the LMS is cool. We built that in our office. So.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah, I mean, our team made all the videos. So.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's cool though. So you're saying you do the LMS as well?
Oh yeah. And then the actual flight training. I mean, living in Arizona, we have 300 days of sunshine.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It might be hot, but we're out there in our air-conditioned, brand new Pipers.
What's the landscape like? Sorry, I'm totally jumping.
You're good. You're good.
And you talked about it being beautiful, but I haven't been up in any of the planes yet. What's the landscape looking like up there? Could you describe any of that?
So a lot of people think that Arizona is the desert, just brown, no color, no water, which actually we have a lot of lakes. We have beautiful mountainous terrain. There's plenty of populated areas to stay away from as well when doing ground reference maneuvers, but also it's gorgeous. And what most people don't see is the winter months. We get a lot of green in the desert. A lot of the desert plants will bloom green. We have cactus flowers. It is gorgeous.
That's awesome.
And the storms that roll through in the monsoon season, middle of summer, are crazy.
Really?
They come in, they roll in intense, and they leave. So it doesn't really affect, you might have a couple of weather cancellations, such as life. We're gonna experience that in this career. But the topography is gorgeous.
Okay.
We're so close to Sedona, that's known for the red rocks. We're right by Grand Canyon. Flagstaff, we're the #1 Ponderosa pine forest in the nation.
Wow.
So elevation, it could be 110 degrees in Phoenix. and 75 up in Flagstaff, an hour flight north.
I didn't even know that. Yeah.
We got snow. People go snowboarding in the winter.
I did go snowboarding one time as a kid, and it was in Arizona.
Yeah, isn't that wild? People don't think. They think we're the wild, wild west.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of TikToks right now because of FIFA about, and I live in Dallas, so there's a lot of people from all over the world right now over there, and I'm seeing lots of TikToks about, wow, America is like so weird. Like Texas is so weird, but I'm imagining being out here in Arizona and you've got like 4 different landscapes in one place.
Look, at the end of the day, I'm all about promoting Arizona, but really I'm about promoting aviation because we're going to fly in all sorts of climates, and all sorts of terrain. Yeah. So it's cool to train in this environment, but also knowing that I'm going to be all over the world is really exciting.
Do you have like a place that you're looking to end up? I mean, do you have like a goal, a vision for yourself where like, I want to stay here when I'm
I do love it here. I go to San Diego a lot in the summer. I go to Mexico quite often. It's a quick 2-hour flight to the jungle on the beach. Yeah. But I do always call Arizona home. Okay. But I do see myself in other bases and other cities. Yeah. I just love to travel, always have.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so I want to bring it back a little bit. You're in training, and I still kind of want, because one thing that we don't get a whole lot of on the podcast that I'd like to get a little more of is understanding some of the actual challenges of learning how to fly, and whether it be the studying or the actual maneuvers.
Yeah, so a couple of actual challenges is being a childhood passion of aviation. I thought, I'll be good at this. Yeah. And when you get a maneuver that you're struggling with, you're like, why am I not good at this? Why am I not understanding this? And then you're practicing and it's not clicking. But knowing to be patient and then it all makes sense is kind of the cool takeaway from it. Right. But studying is a huge part of it, but then also kind of remaining calm. Yeah. It's going to be important to be in a pilot career to be calm. You're going to be thrown different obstacles, different emergencies, and you can handle it. And just staying top of mind that you got this is where it's at. Now, flight training, you got the simulators, you got the actual plane, and then you have the debrief, which is great. It's like in sports when they're filming your plays and you're like, okay, how can we make this better? It's the same way in aviation. Yeah. It's your instructors giving you positive feedback or constructive feedback, that they see something in you that you might not see. So learning has really compounded itself. The basic principles of flight: lift, weight, drag, thrust, and in thrust we trust. Right.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. And I just learned a little bit about that in one of our last videos. Yeah. Again, for listeners, I'm not a pilot. I just talk to a lot of you guys. Not yet. Yeah, who knows? It's tempting. The more I sit here and everyone talks about how much they love flying. Yeah. Okay, that's great though. So can you tell me a little bit about maybe a maneuver or a concept that was a little bit difficult for you to grasp or that you had to put a little extra effort into?
Yeah, one of the commercial maneuvers, I just finished commercial rating, and it's called a chandelle. And typically it's not a hard maneuver. Right. My instructor, related it to, you're stuck in a canyon and you got to climb out. Right. Turn, increase your pitch, you're almost going to stall the aircraft. Stall is when not your engine stopping, but the airflow over the wing is disrupted. Okay. So you have to decrease your angle of attack and maintain positive control. Wow. So chandelle seemed easy when I first learned about it, but then when I went to practice it, I was like, why is this so difficult? I'm not getting the stall that everyone's talking about. Okay. So,
I think you're going to tell me a little bit about it, but can you also, just to try to understand, can you tell me a little bit about the position of the aircraft when you're doing this?
Yeah. Imagine flying into a canyon and you see big mountains right in front of you. Okay. You got to turn around and you got to climb. Okay. So it's max power, full. You're increasing that pitch. So when you're starting wings level, you're instantly turning your bank and increasing your pitch. So you're now resulting in G-forces. You feel that weight in the seat of the aircraft. And it's exhilarating. You're like, I'm going to get out of this canyon.
Okay.
And so when you're in training, you sometimes forget all the technical stuff. You're just trying to perform the maneuver. Right. But when you step back and you do your debrief with your instructor, you're realizing, oh, at this point I should be banked 5 degrees. At this point I should be pitched 17 degrees. I should almost hear that stall horn.
And that's what you were saying.
And that's what you want.
Yeah.
So once it all came together, it was really exciting.
So you were having a hard time getting it to that point to where it's almost stalling, right?
Yeah.
And you were noticing that in the aircraft and in the debrief, right?
Yes.
And so can you tell me a little bit, like, what did something click eventually?
Well, at first it was discouraging. I'm like, why can't I get this? It's such a simple maneuver.
Right.
But when it did click, it was climb out of the canyon, maintain positive control, get it to where it wants to stall. That means like you are increasing that pitch to where just before the air is disrupted, you're getting the max altitude gained and you're turning in a direction.
Okay.
You know,
I see.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, what do you think the common mistake is there? Do you think that's the same thing for most people?
Well, my first mistake was I didn't add full power. I just banked and I started pulling up. My instructor's like, what's the point of that? You're gonna stall fast. You're not gonna go very far. You're gonna just drop.
Okay.
Like then you're gonna have to overcorrect, and that's what we try not to do.
Okay.
So yeah, climbing out of the canyon, it all clicked.
Yeah.
A lot of times we practice a maneuver called slow flight.
Yeah.
You bring the speed of the aircraft so slow, and when you're new, you're like, oh, I'm practicing slow flight, but really what it relates to is the traffic pattern.
Okay.
So you're traveling slow, you're doing a rectangle course to get down to the airport. And understanding the physics and aerodynamics of the plane in slow flight was awesome.
Okay.
At first you don't understand it when you're practicing 5,000 feet in the air, but when everything ties together, it makes you a better pilot in those positions.
Knowing how to do it, okay, gotcha. So, and maybe I'm jumping around a little bit too much, but is there, because you're talking about looking back on slow flight and thinking, oh, I kind of get the importance of it now.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if is there anything you would say to people who are going to be or are going through learning slow flight right now to get the most out of it?
To get the most out of it is don't overthink it. It's one day at a time. What can I learn? What am I not grasping? What instructional video on YouTube can I watch? There's tons of content out there, ours included.
Yeah.
So yeah, just kind of remaining calm and not, so many times we want to be at the end. We want to be at the finish, and we're so focused on the end goal, but we forget it's a process, and it's day by day by day. How can I show up? How can I be better?
So, humor me a little bit, because I'm just going to ask this conceptual question. Is the concept of slow flight, though, about sort of being able to just literally fly as slow as possible, and the idea is so that you can use thrust more strategically because you're already flying slow?
Yeah, so when you're flying slow, you're producing the same amount of lift and a higher angle of attack.
Okay.
So your plane is actually pitched like this.
Oh, gotcha.
So your nose is not on the horizon. You're almost max power, but you're flying very slow. And it's called the region of reverse command.
Okay.
So power controls altitude and pitch controls airspeed. So if you're getting too slow, you can pitch down a little bit. If you're getting too low, you can add power.
Okay.
So once all those concepts kind of made sense, it made entering the traffic pattern a breeze.
And that's the part, and that's why I was asking that. I like talking to people about their landings on here, because it's one of the few opportunities I get to get a little technical on the podcast. Ground effect is essentially that, though, right?
Yeah, one wingspan away from the airport, from the runway is what we call it. And you lose a lot of that drag, which helps you, right? You have all this thrust, you have all this energy and momentum, and no drag. So you're kind of just floating above the runway.
Yeah,
which is awesome. And you want to let that airplane settle down to the runway.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that and trying to get me there. Maybe if I become a pilot one day, this will help me out.
For sure, for sure.
You were talking about we want to get to the end of it all, right? Like that's relating to landings. People talk about, I'm constantly trying to look at the ground all the time, and they realize they have to look at the end of the runway and keep their eye on like the goal.
Yeah,
really.
Exactly.
And it's kind of like that. And I guess I'm wondering if there's any relation, right? You were talking about slowing down and just being in the moment and being able to, not being in a rush.
Yeah.
Was there a time where you had to remind yourself to slow down in this training process?
Yeah, I mean, once I did get the landings, you want to kind of be confident, not cocky.
Yeah.
A good pilot's always learning, and like, what can I do better the next time? What can I dive deeper into my level of knowledge into it? So landings were great, maneuvers were great, and now I get the opportunity to take flight instruction, and teaching others is going to just solidify my knowledge and make me a better pilot.
Absolutely.
And I get to train the next generation of pilots, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, and I feel like training others or teaching has to be kind of like a lot of fun. I've taught some other areas, like in different jobs. I've been a trainer, and I do, like you said earlier, I learn a lot from that. Yeah. Is that something that you kind of knew was a part of the process before you started flight training, becoming a CFI?
You know, there's different avenues you can take. So you don't have to become a flight instructor, excuse me. But I knew that would make me better. Okay. And that's kind of what I strive. How do I get better? Mm-hmm. And then I like to make people feel good. I like to make people feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. And I like to challenge people. And maybe I see something in them that they don't see. Yeah. Or they have the childhood passion like I did, but they don't know how to go about it. Mm-hmm. And once you're in, you're in. And people think, oh, I'm in. I should be at the end goal. Like if I just do these things, I'm there. But really, it changes. One day you might not feel like studying. Well, go chair fly. Yeah. Sit in a chair, stare at a poster of our instrument panel, and run through the flows. That has helped me immensely.
It seems like you're able to not be too rigid about it.
Which is wild because I'm so rigid in my life. Yeah? I'm very disciplined. I wake up, I go to the gym, I don't drink alcohol. I maintain a healthy lifestyle, and that helps. I mean, when you're all over the place, so is your studies.
That makes sense. I always considered myself not very disciplined, and especially when I was like even younger. And I thought to myself, how do I fix this, right? Yeah. And I always thought it looked more like holding on tighter and trying harder and following more rules. Nope. And exactly. Yeah. And so as you just say that you consider yourself disciplined, but yet I hear you be more flexible.
Yeah, I wasn't always disciplined. It was a hard thing. I wanted to stay up late. I wanted to hang out with my friends. I didn't want to go to school. Mm-hmm. I knew I wanted to be a pilot, but that door's closed right now, so I'm not going to study. Well, actually, no. I'm going to make myself a better person. I'm going to learn skills that are going to help me in aviation. Right. So just kind of, I like to say micro wins are the big wins. Right. Wake up, make your bed.
Get your reps in. Yes. And it's because like you were saying earlier about like, I don't really feel like locking into a book right now, but I can get some chair flying in at least.
You can watch YouTube.
Yeah, at least. It's kind of like relying a little bit more on osmosis in a way. And then even when you were saying there's a little bit of foresight to have when you're thinking about, oh man, I'm not in flight training, but I know I want to be. And instead of thinking like, I'll just avoid thinking about it since I'm not there.
Well, it's too big of an idea, right? Right. Like it's too many steps. I'm not there yet. Well, you are. You just need to take a step back. What can I do today?
One thing I've learned the older I've gotten, especially in the jobs I'm in now, I've learned that if I'm not doing something I really want to be doing, I can still be learning skills currently in my current positions that can apply later. And I think that gives me a lot more peace of mind without thinking about the whole, I got to get to the end, I got to have the result. Exactly. I can think about the effort and the behavior and I think that rewards me more than I would have allowed it to before. Yeah. And so I guess that's kind of what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah, I mean, I read a book by Wayne Dyer called The Power of Intention. Okay. And that changed my life. Yeah. Wow. Being a co-creator of your life, being intentional and being of service to others lets your dreams unfold naturally. Being intentional, it's not always going to be easy, but if I show up, something good is going to happen out of it.
That's awesome. I'm going to have to check that one out. A little bit of a sidebar. Yeah. One of my old jobs, I was a server at a Cajun food restaurant, seafood restaurant, and someone left a book called The Power of Habit, and I was like, I couldn't figure out who it was. It was there for like a week. Yeah. And on a slow day, I started picking up and I was like reading it for a second and I was like, it's kind of interesting. And I'm not a reader, or at least then I wasn't. It started me. I ended up reading the whole book. And anyways, that just reminded me because you said the power of intention.
Micro-learning is helping you become a great adult.
So I'll go check that out because of that.
The power of intention.
Yeah, so that's cool. So now that you're in commercial, you're wrapping it up. Are you close to your?
I just passed my check ride.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome. I know that's stressful.
It was stressful, but it was so fulfilling. Getting that certificate from an examiner saying they believe in you. You performed all the maneuvers to the ACS standards. Right. Was awesome. So now multi-engine, CFI, CFII, which is flight instruction with instrument, flying through the clouds. Being able to not see out of the cockpit is a whole nother world.
Yeah, I can only imagine being in the air with all this omnidirectional opportunity, and to sit there and just go off of an instrument.
Trust your instruments, as they say.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's pretty cool. And then multi-engine instruction as well. And anywhere in aviation, I've always said, I'm not focused on the end goal of, I could obsess hours. Do I want to be corporate pilot? Do I want to be an airline pilot? Do I want to be a bush pilot flying tours in Alaska?
Right.
I always say anything in aviation is my passion, so I'm going to make the best of it.
That's really cool. The Alaska thing sounds cool for the record. I always want to go to Alaska.
I want to get my
it's just
float
ice, but it looks.
there.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
I always think about that. I don't know what movie it was. I saw it when I was a kid. I was like, you're telling me planes can go on water? That's insane.
Was it Homeward Bound or something?
I don't know. It's something like that. Was it Homeward Bound? Was there one in Homeward Bound?
I think it was like a childhood video.
Yeah, there's something, or maybe it was like, was that an Anaconda?
Oh, maybe.
Remember the movie Anaconda?
I didn't watch that. I don't like snakes.
Oh my God, that's a terrible movie for you to bring up. I remember that movie so vividly. That was a crazy movie. Anyways, they made a new one, I think, with like Jack Black or something.
Really?
I don't know. Anyways, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your check ride for commercial.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about so there's probably people listening who are maybe private students even, and they haven't even gone through the check ride process yet. So at Thrust Flight, if you're listening, we have the stage checks. So what we do is we basically kind of like have quizzes before your exam. We kind of like level you up one thing at a time, and then your instructor will say, you're ready, and you have to believe them.
One of the things I love about Thrust is having in-house examinations for certain ratings. As a private pilot, you're brand new, you're scared, you don't know. Once you feel comfortable, and like you said, those stage checks check to see if you're ready for that end goal.
Yeah.
And we have in-house examiners that say, all right, now's the time, you're tested, and you move on.
Yeah.
Now you get to commercial, and you have an outside designated pilot examiner.
Right.
Then the stress kind of creeps up, because you're like, I don't know who this guy is. I'm not in the day-to-day life with him. I haven't got to know him. So that challenges you on how to be a calm, cool composure and just perform.
Right. And people say that there's, some people say there's like a big difference in the feeling, and some people say there's like no difference in the feeling when you're going with one of the instructors who's an EOC versus like a DPE. But regardless, I'm curious about how you approach it mentally and without psyching yourself out.
I mean, they're people too, right?
Yeah,
They're just next to you, but they're grading you, and not a lot of people liked that judgment aspect.
Right.
So, I've helped other students just remain calm, take a breath, wiggle your toes, as my private instructor always said. He was trained by a naval pilot.
Wow.
So wiggle your toes right before you're getting to land. Calm down.
Interesting.
Everything's going to be fine. And that helps. And the stage checks really, they're designed to see if you're ready, but they're also hard. They're not too hard to where you're discouraged, but they're like, once you do all that and you get to that final check, you're like, that was a breeze.
Yeah.
And that's why they do those stage checks, to make sure you got all this information down pat, you're ready to go. And you go to do it and you're like, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it really wasn't.
I don't know why I was so stressed out.
Is there like something, have you struggled with any of your check rides?
Yeah, instrument.
Okay.
It was stage checks, not the final. But my instrument understanding, it's all new knowledge.
Yeah.
And the written, you're taking these written tests before you're sitting through the ground school. And at first I resisted that. I'm like, I want to grasp the entire, the picture. I want to know
would be that
everything.
way. So.
But now that I'm further along in the process, I understand where you get the information, you pass the test, you get your training, then it starts to make sense.
Okay.
And all of the instructors, and Dylan, our chief, he's been great. He's like, it will make sense, I promise you.
Okay.
But I did struggle on, shooting an approach into an airport, and you're in these foggles and you can't see, and you're following your instruments, and you're like, gosh, can I really do this? Like, I want to look outside so badly, but...
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden your instructor says, take off the foggles, and there's the runway. And you're like, wow.
You got there.
So it took a couple extra hours, but another thing I love about Thrust is they build in those extra hours. And so it's there if you need them.
Right.
And if you don't, you either get that money back or you apply it to something like, I'm going to apply it to the acrobatics.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't, and if you don't mind, I'm going to take a second to address a few things you've said. Just to give a more holistic picture here, because Thrust is taking a few extra steps to make sure you guys don't run into some issues that we know other students and maybe other schools have, right? Sometimes we have students who come from other schools who maybe they went over their minimum hours and they didn't have enough money to keep flying. That didn't come out of pocket, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, at Thrust, like the minimum hours for private, which not everyone meets, most people don't, is like what, 40 or
40,
something?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
for
so
part 141,
Yeah, for part 141 at Thrust Flight, especially with our accelerated program.
The national average is like 80 though, so almost double that.
Yeah, exactly, and some people might still hit that at Thrust, but I think we sit around right now, maybe around 60 hours average before you complete your private pilot license. That means that we have allocated about the average amount, 80 hours. So if you're paying, you only pay for 60 hours out of your loan, even if we've allocated enough money for 80 hours, which means that extra money will either be returned to your loan or towards something else that that we may offer you that isn't already a part of your program.
And I try to tell private pilots that are using extra hours. They're like, oh, I'm using too many. And I'm like, everyone learns at their own pace.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And I've seen these students struggle, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I finished private. I finished with way more hours, and I'm like, it's okay. And then they breeze through instrument. I'm like, well, I didn't have that luxury. I was struggling. So that's why the family orientation here is just everyone's helping each other.
Yeah, and I'll ask you this, maybe you know better, though. By the time you finish all these ratings here at Thrust, it's not really going to matter if you have 200 hours, 500 hours, or whatever. If anything, you might be grateful that you're further along.
Yeah, you want those hours, right? We're all trying to grind to the 1500, and it's a learning opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, it might be less beneficial to finish all your ratings with less hours if you're there's no real award for that, is what I'm saying.
That's where I tell students, zoom out. You're focused on the end goal and what your numbers line up to be. Are you getting the content? Are you passionate? Are you helping others?
Yes.
Are you being the best version?
Yes. And so the focus on going quickly isn't about a metric of like I did it faster than everyone else. It's about not being held back by some of the things that hold other people back.
Exactly.
And that's where the EOC thing that we were talking about comes in. So Thrust Flight has examining, again, towards the audience, Thrust Flight has what we call examining authority, which is granted to us by the FAA because we meet certain very specific high standards about success and pass rates. So as long as we maintain quality instruction, we're able to move you guys along quicker than maybe another school would have the ability to, just because they don't have some of the resources.
Exactly.
I just wanted to highlight that. That's all. Okay, so we talked about, moving through your commercial, and next up you're going to be focusing on your CFI, and we understand that you're very interested in that, and so I look forward to hopefully having you as a CFI here.
Yeah, change these red shirts to black.
Right, exactly. And so I guess since we've been talking for a little bit, if there's someone who's listening who's like, oh, they're still listening to this whole podcast, and they know they're interested like you were in aviation, and they're thinking like, man, what else do I need to know that it's time to kind of pull the trigger here? What would you say to someone like that if you could?
I would say, first of all, get your medical. If you can pass the medical, then you know that this is a career. And if you can't, maybe there's something other than being a pilot. In aviation, you could do air traffic control. You can be a ramper. Airlines have amazing benefits. You don't always have to fly the plane to get those benefits.
Yeah.
So I always like to tell people that if you have the passion, it's not going to die. And just get your medical, find out right from the start, is this an opportunity? And take one step in front of the next.
Okay.
Contact Thrust, take that discovery flight.
So you don't have to commit to anything to take the medical? No. Yeah, okay, that's
just
I'm
money,
that way.
$100. Yeah. I think, it's the best $100 you'll ever spend, because then it's a definitive yes or no.
That you can.
And it's not a no, it's not this part, but go over here.
Exactly, and even then people have gotten like not right nows and worked it out.
My whole life it was not right now. When am I gonna be a pilot? Not right now. And instead of looking at that and be discouraged, I'm like, all right, what else can I do?
Yeah.
It's going to happen someday, and it's happening now.
And here you are. You're commercial. I mean, you have 3 ratings under your belt, right?
Yep.
So that's pretty awesome. Well, congratulations on your journey so far.
Thank you.
And I've gotten to talk to you a couple times since we've come out here to the Phoenix location.
Yeah.
And I keep saying Phoenix. Are people...
Phoenix is a large, I mean, it's like Dallas-Fort Worth.
Exactly.
Right?
So when we're out there and people are like, if you're talking to someone outside of Dallas or DFW, we call it DFW, right?
Yeah.
If you're talking to someone outside, we're like, if you're from Plano, I'm going to say I'm from Dallas.
Right.
But if I'm in Dallas...
Scottsdale, and when I travel, I say I'm from Phoenix. Because most people know Phoenix.
Yeah.
Well, Scottsdale's grown, but most people won't know Mesa.
Right.
But we're all in one big circle.
Exactly.
30 minutes to Scottsdale. We're 15 minutes to the airport, Sky Harbor.
Okay.
So, great location.
Yeah, well, it's pretty great out here. I think it's pretty cool. When I first got out here, I was like, well, I don't want to be out here. It looks dry and it's hot. But then I'm like, wow, it has this kind of eclecticness to it.
Find the
because
beauty.
it feels like an oasis in the desert, sort of, even though it still is hot. But like, it's like there's something about it. It's kind of cool. And the lines and the shadows and the architecture, it has its own thing going on. So if you guys are anywhere near Mesa, Arizona, or in Phoenix or Scottsdale, any of the surrounding areas, and you're interested in aviation, look up Thrust Flight, where I'm sure we're within a drive. Come check us out. It's not crazy to come get a discovery flight or just to check out the school. Or like on a day like today, we have monthly events where we invite people to come check out our school. It's called Thrust Day. So come check it out, come take a tour. If you're not anywhere near a Thrust Flight, just Google flight school near me. Google CFI near me. Google airport near me. Go to one that's not large that you can go see some planes. Just scratch the itch a little bit and see what happens.
And don't be discouraged if you're not near a Thrust location. We have plenty of students that live in student housing, modern, great apartments, workout facilities, pools. I mean, right, you could walk.
Are you in the one here? You're not, right? I didn't think so. Okay, I just don't
I will be checking it out in Denison, though.
Yes. And they're pretty nice out there, but you're going to be like in rural Texas.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a good time out there. I never mentioned that. We do have housing if you're not near a Thrust Flight, but you want to go to Thrust Flight. We have student housing. Everyone's in student housing.
Affordable options, and then you're surrounded with like-minded students.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, thank you again, Andrew, for joining us on this episode. Yeah. If you guys are still here and listening, that means you must have enjoyed it to get this far. It's a long episode. These podcasts are long. Check us out on Apple Music and Spotify because we're also there if you're watching on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. You know how it goes. It really helps other people like you find us, so that's a big deal to us. And again, my name is Zach. I'll see you guys next week on the next episode of Pilots Say What, where we get to hear what pilots have to say. Thank you for tuning in.